Hi everyone, welcome back to Average Fitness, fitness hints and tips for the average person. And today I wanted to talk about a feeling that we all have from time to time, and especially, the last 12 months dealing with COVID, I'm sure more people are feeling on a more regular basis. And that is that feeling when you wake up in the morning and you just can't be bothered. Your motivation's completely gone and you just can't bring yourself to do the workout that you planned for the day, or you're just not feeling it. You're sick of counting your calories, you're sick of following a diet, and you just think, you know what, I give up, I'm not feeling it today, I'm just gonna do whatever I want, or I'm just gonna not bother. And I suppose the subject I want to talk about is how to deal with that feeling that inevitably you will feel at some point, and how to minimize that feeling going forward, and what you can do in the moment to kind of rectify the situation. The way I say it, there's a few ways you can tackle it, and it depends on which aspect you're talking about. We'll talk about from a workout point of view first of all. So for example, today I woke up this morning and I'm just not feeling great. Nothing in particular, no real aches and pains. My legs are a little bit sore from working out yesterday, but the workout I had planned was for upper body, and I just wasn't feeling it at all. Just couldn't really bring myself to get warmed up and stretched and ready to go and do the workout. And what do you do when you feel like that? Well, as far as I can tell, there's a few different options. Few different productive options, should I say. Obviously you can have that kind of woe is me mentality and just sack it off completely. That's not necessarily productive, although I'm going to come back to that later. First thing I think you can do to kind of get yourself out of that funk is grit your teeth and do it anyway. Alright? Now, we all work out because it's good for us, and there's plenty of other things that we do that we know we need to do even though we don't like them. Going to work, for example. Not many people really enjoy their job, and even those people, they don't love every single aspect of the job. I'm sure there's particular parts of your job that you just don't like doing, but what do? You do them anyway, because you know you have to, it needs to be done, it's important, I need the money, I can't afford to quit my job, or whatever. And if you can tap into that mindset and bring that kind of attitude to your particular workout, grit your teeth, do it anyway, and put in the effort even though you're not feeling great, quite often that can be just a really good way of kind of getting through it, getting the benefits, but also that's useful for you because then you learn about yourself. When it really comes to it, I can do something even though it's hard. That's quite a useful skill to be able to have. The other way you can approach that is, for example, like I say, I wasn't feeling great this morning and I just couldn't really motivate myself to start warming up to get ready to go. So what I did was, we had a few dishes lying around from breakfast and from last night. So I thought, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the dishes, I'm going to wash them, I'm going to dry them, put them away, wipe all the benches down, hoover, put the washing away that was dried, etc. And then, by that point, I'll have been on my feet for sort of 10-15 minutes and I'll be warmed up a little bit and much more likely to actually be bothered to do my warming up and my exercise, because momentum plays a big role. And lo and behold, I did those things and then I just started working out straight from there. Did a few mobility exercises and got going. And that momentum from doing the things that I had to do anyway, whether I wanted to or not, ended up taking me through my workout, and I actually felt much better at the end of it. So momentum plays a big role. Find some other physical tasks that need doing that you're going to have to do at some point today anyway, and do them first. And that can be a great way to kind of segue into, doing your workout and using that momentum to get going. Another option is, if you really don't feel like working out at the kind of intensity that you're used to, or that you feel like you're supposed to, or that you had planned, well, you can just do the same workout but at a lower intensity. Something is better than nothing. So if you plan to do X amount of weight and X amount of reps, lower one or both and just kind of take it easy and do a sort of a medium intensity workout. You're not going to get the same gains that you would have done from doing the more intense workout, but if you're thinking about, I'm going to miss out on these gains, you're looking at it in too narrow of a window. What you want to do is just take a step back and say, overall, my consistency is playing a role in the gains that I'm getting, and one lower intensity workout is not going to affect that. Or do something completely different. If you plan to go to the gym and lift weights, or go down to your home gym, or do some press-ups or whatever, do something completely different then. Go for a walk, a brisk walk for 20-30 minutes, put your headphones in and get outside and get some sunshine, or some rain or whatever. And even just doing that can just completely reset your mindset, can completely reset your emotional state in terms of doing something else, some other physical activity that is good for you. And the third point is, it doesn't have to be a physical activity. Doing something that is productive or good for your soul can be just as good. So instead of working out, if you really don't fancy it, instead of working out, why don't you give your grandma a ring, or give a friend that you haven't spoken to for a few months a ring, and just see how they are, and just chew the fat for 20 or 30 minutes. And I guarantee you'll feel better afterwards, and you'll probably feel motivated to actually do something productive from a physical point of view after that as well. So a few different tips. Do the workout anyway and really just grit your teeth and get through it. Do something completely different at a lower intensity perhaps, or completely do something that's not a physical workout, but that is good anyway. Do a good deed for someone. Do something that's going to make you and them feel better and make the world a better place. And that can just be that one thing that you needed to make you feel better, to get you into a better headspace for your next workout tomorrow or in 2 or 3 days' time, or whatever it is. From a diet point of view, it's a little bit different, although obviously similar. If you wake up and you think, I'm just absolutely sick of counting these calories or sticking to this diet, I feel like just going out and getting a pizza tonight, I feel like I've earned it, or I deserve it, or I just can't face eating another X, Y, or Z, then fine. You can go and have that pizza. You can go out and have that KFC or whatever it is and go off the rails a little bit. Again, if it's just for one day, or if it's just one day here and there, you're not going to ruin all the progress you've made. You won't make as much progress if you would have if you didn't have that pizza, but it's not going to ruin everything you've worked for, as long as you consistently stick to what you've been doing, or consistently stick to your plan most of the time. One little wobble here and there is not going to ruin everything. You are going to hinder your progress a tiny bit, but it's not as big a deal as you think it is. Don't overjudge yourself. Don't worry so much about one day. What I would say is, if you're tracking your calories, which we would obviously strongly recommend that you do, for whatever reason, whether it be weight gain, fat loss, whatever, if you're tracking your calories and you go off the rails a little bit, you have a bit of a binge on the weekend, or you decide to get a pizza on a Tuesday night because you've had a shit day at work, or whatever it is, track those calories anyway. Have that accountability. Just because you need that takeaway doesn't mean you shouldn't track the calories as best you can. Obviously, it's difficult. Track them, and then over time, you can try and get those calories back. If you went 600 calories over your target today, well then over the next 2 weeks, try and just grab those calories back, 50 calories at a time over a good few days. Have that accountability, and again, that can be good for your soul as well. Fitness is not just about sticking to the absolutes rigidly all of the time. It's important to keep your mind fresh, keep your mental health in good shape, as well as your physical health. And sometimes you need to take a day. Sometimes you need to take 2 or 3 days. You might even say, I'm going to take a week off. I'm just going to eyeball my food. I'm not going to count my calories. I'm not going to go wild, but I'm not going to be super strict with myself, just for a week, here and there, once every few months. If you need that, that's absolutely fine. If it's going to help you in the long term, then brilliant. So hopefully those tips are useful in terms of getting you out of that funk that we all feel from time to time. Like I say, certainly more at the moment, with the world being the way it is. But things are starting to look up. We're getting towards summer. COVID looks like it's going to be knocked on the head sooner rather than later, as long as we all keep doing what we're doing, which has been difficult, but for the greater good. So hopefully these tips are also difficult to follow, but for the greater good for your physical and mental health as well. Any questions, by all means, reach out. But until next time, take it easy.